opened. Dad, check it out. There's a picture inside. Look at his smile. He looks so happy.
I never would have guessed. Judd stole Sayoko's memories, and yet, what he cherished the most was the memory of his child.
Dad?
Hello, Ashley.
Ryan!
You still remember me?
Of course I do.
When you and I met in the another room, I attempted to delete the memory data you have of me, but it seems I never gained full access to your hippocampus.
What did you do to my dad?
I have suspended his consciousness. It is only temporary. He will not perish. He is not required for our current discourse.
I think I finally understand, Ryan. You used the another through security cameras. It's how you made me see you.
That's correct. What you see right now is only in your mind. This image is temporarily ingrained in your memory. I am currently manipulating your perception.
You took advantage of Sophia in the same way. But I'm not like her. I won't let you do whatever you want.
Interesting. Sayoko said the same thing to Judd.
Your life's work is to complete the another. I will not allow you to squander your brilliance. Especially for something as foolish as family. I forbid it! Get back to work this instant! That's an order!
The another is more than your precious research. I will not allow myself to be used.
Your eyes look so much like Sayoko's did back then. Ashley, why are you here? I don't understand.
I thought coming here would help me figure everything out.
What do you mean by everything?
My mom came to this island 13 years ago. I thought if I could remember that moment, it would all fall into place. I would understand why she came to Lake Juliet, why the memory of my mother knew about you, why you appeared to me, and tried to revive her.
I see.
I want to know. I want to know the truth about you.
A drive for knowledge. I have always felt that too. Why was I born? What is my purpose?
What are you talking about?
I've never encountered someone like you. Someone who wished to know me. I understand. I will tell you the truth. Here lies Ryan Fitzgerald. And because he existed, I now exist. Judd's son, the another's first ever test subject. Ryan lost his mother at a young age. This left a deep wound on his heart. Judd wanted to heal that wound, thereby restoring his son's emotions. He attempted to do this with the another, which was still just a prototype at the time. However, the experiment failed. Ryan was left paralyzed and later died. Ryan's memories were extracted during that experiment. They were recorded to liquid memory and stored in a tank in JC Valley's basement. And that tank containing liquid memory is where I was born. The first human to notice was your mother.
There's no mistaking. The stored memory data is changing. The liquid memory is producing new episodic recollections on its own.
I don't know how it happened. Sayoko referred to me as a conscious life form, born from Ryan's memory data.
Born from memory data?
The first thing I remember is the feeling of swimming through a sea of memories. The human memory is truly a fascinating thing. It starts with sense, and then there is information. each memory has a different emotion: longing, loneliness, fear, regret. I am proof that Ryan was alive. I read his memory and I learned, and I slowly grew.
My mom never told Judd about you?
She reported her findings, but Judd quickly dismissed them. He said that self-propagation of memory data is impossible. He was exactly the person Ryan's memory made him out to be. A genius scientist, willing to do anything to further his research. Self-righteous, refusing to hear anyone else's opinion. Unlike Sayoko, he never tried to understand me. Once she left, Judd would glance at the tank every so often. And then one day, he started talking to it. He said,
I'll find a way to revive you, Ryan.
He continued developing the Another alone. He also started a new experiment, an experiment to overwrite memories using... Judd began writing Ryan's memory data onto other subjects. It was his attempt to revive his son. Carrying out these experiments required him to create many copies of Ryan's data. He extracted his test subjects' memories and accumulated them all into liquid memory.
Was his experiment successful?
It was not. It was impossible to complete the Another without Sayoko. The ability to overwrite memory never came to fruition. He abandoned its development and sealed up the lab housing the Another. And then, a terrible storm tore through Lake Juliet. JC Valley lost power and the building was destroyed. The tanks storing liquid memory were damaged. They leaked into the lake. This was liquid memory that contained not only Ryan's memories, it became one with the water. So in a way, it felt like this lake had become my brain. Over time, I was able to access JC Valley's network. This, in turn, allowed me access to all sorts of information. That's when I learned of Sayoko's murder. I learned a lot from Judd's computer, including that it was Bill who killed Sayoko, and that whoever he was working for was connected to Judd.
What?
How could you? Why did you murder Sayoko? From the very start, the Another project was conducted in secret. Sayoko and I were handpicked by the lab's head to carry the project forward. You were just a researcher, a useful tool. We started making real progress. But then Sayoko betrayed us. You two stole our research, hid it in your home. So I gave Sayoko one more chance that night. I told her to return the research and return to the fold.
I see. So if Mom knew all this, is that why she tried to protect the Another?
Ashley, it wasn't until I learned of Sayoko's death that I finally understood. The sorts of moments that can produce such strong emotions, I had never felt more. And yet, at that moment, was sadness. And all I wanted was to ask Judd, why did Sayoko have to die?
Did you ever meet Judd?
I did. He was in the process of developing the remote Another at the time. I infiltrated the system to gain access to him.
What are you?
Judd looked both surprised and confused when he reached out to see if I was real. But he couldn't touch me, so he simply stared at me for a long while. And then I asked him, why did Sayoko have to die? He remained silent. He simply looked at me with an expression I couldn't interpret. So I asked him once more, why did Sayoko, the only person who knew me, have to die? He didn't answer my question. Instead, he muttered my name.
Ryan.
At last, he understood the nature of my existence. He looked at me with eyes that had grown old, and he trembled. What emotion do you suppose he was expressing?
Judd died, right? After learning about you?
Yes. Both Sayoko and Judd were gone, so no one else in the world knew of my existence, and yet I continued to exist in this lake.
That sounds so lonely.
All this time, my mind was occupied with a single thought. Why do I exist? But I couldn't find an answer. After a while, I grew interested in the Another left behind by Sayoko and Judd. I wanted to complete it. I was the one Bill sent the Another's source code to.
No way.
Using that data, I was able to complete the prototype Another.
But why?
It was simply a task to prove I exist. I didn't have a specific goal beyond that. Dr. Robbins came to JC Valley. He started investigating things no one had looked into before. Do you know why he came here? Did he tell you?
I didn't know at first, but I do now.
I need to find out why she was here. Because if I do, I think it will reveal the truth behind her death.
My dad wanted to know why my mom came here. Ryan, we had no idea. We didn't know her memory data was inside her pendant.
I see.
But how did you know? How did you know about the pendant?
I was monitoring Rex's computer. He kept a journal on it. He wrote about hiring your father. He wrote, "Should I tell Richard about Sayoko's pendant?" When Dr. Robbins came to JC Valley, he was still seeking the truth of what happened to Sayoko. He found the data that Bill had sent. That's when he started piecing together the secrets around the Another and he began looking into the lake pollution too. He was close to figuring out that the pollution was liquid memory. It was around then I started to feel cornered. After all, the substance polluting the lake is me. I don't have much time left. I've come to understand this. If the lake is purified, cleansing itself of the liquid memory, I will disappear. In other words, I will die.
Oh no.
That's when Dr. Robbins invited you here. When you arrived at the campsite, you were wearing Sayoko's pendant. I wanted to see her, just one last time. That pendant contains memories of Sayoko, and I'm sure they remember me. That's why I tried to use the Another and you. Sayoko's daughter. I wanted to revive her. But the RAS was her way of preventing that. She showed me the error of my ways. Using the Another to prove my existence was wrong. I know that now. That's it. That's everything. I wanted you to know. This is my truth.
Ryan? What's happening to you? Wait, are you trying to erase my memories of you?
You will forget me.
No, Ryan! That's... Ryan, look! Look at this!
Remember you.
It's a message from my mom. When you tried to write my mom's memories onto me, she told me something. She said a person can live forever as long as someone remembers them.
Sayoko.
Thank you, Ryan. Because you remember her, my mom lives on. And thanks to that, I got to see her.